for anyone who wants to see it later. Okay. Extensive reading. Okay. Pre-reading 1. Discuss these questions with a partner. Do you often read in English for private study? So the question is, do you often read in English for private study? If yes, so this question you can answer it with yes or with no. In case your answer was yes, I often read in English for private study. In this case, what kind of reading do you do? Is it reading on the internet or newspapers or magazines, books, for example, Harry Potter books, reading for English study books or others? This is if your answer was yes, I do this kind of reading. Okay, but if some of you would say no, if some of you would say no, the answer no, I'm not doing any kind of reading. Okay, for private study, I'm not do any kind of reading for private study. In this case, what are the reasons why you don't read in English? So there must be reasons that would prevent you from reading in English. Is it that it's hard to find enjoyable materials, or it's too slow and difficult to read in English? I don't enjoy reading in general. I don't have time. I don't think it is necessary. So first you have to decide if your answer is yes or no, and then you can give reasons in case it was no. Okay, so what do you think about this?
Yes, I read. Reading from English study books.
That's
Reading.
Good. So you are reading from English study books. Okay. Any examples of this English study books that you read in your free time?
Reading. Effective reading 1 and 2.
Okay. No, he tells you about private studies, not this kind of or at school or at university. No, it's not kind of the subject that you are taking at the university. But when you have free time, and so what kind do you do this kind of reading to go to the internet?
Yes, I read novels.
Okay, that's good. Okay, that's good. You are reading novels. Okay. Who else? Who else? Marah, were you the one who said that you are reading? Who was speaking? Who was speaking?
Marah.
Marah was speaking. So you are the one who are doing this kind of novel. You would read novels. Okay. Suzanne?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it yes or no? And in case it is yes, tell us, give us examples. In case it is no, tell us the reasons why you are not.
Yes, I'm reading.
You're reading, okay. So is it a kind of internet reading and newspaper, magazines, books, reading from English study books, others?
Reading on internet and reading from English study books.
Reading from internet and English study books. Okay, okay. Amira?
Yes.
So what about you? Yes, Amira.
Yes. Reading on the internet.
Yeah, reading from the internet. Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, you read it from the internet. That's good. And the last one is Sia.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? What about you?
Reading on internet and yeah, newspapers and magazines.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's move on now to see pre-reading 2, and then after that we will go to the text. Okay, pre-reading 2. In your opinion, how useful is reading alone in developing the following language skills? Discuss your answer with the partner. Okay, so this is it can be seen as a personal question. So it's in your opinion. So what do you think, in your view, okay, from your perspective? How useful is reading alone in developing the language skills, the following language skills: reading skills, writing skills, vocabulary, grammar, speaking skills, and listening skills? So is it very useful, quite useful, or not useful? What do you think about this?
Reading skills very useful.
Very useful.
Very useful. Which kind of skills are very useful, do you think?
Reading.
Reading, very useful. What about the others? What about the grammar, speaking skills?
Grammar are
Writing.
very useful too.
Very useful. Grammar
And writing.
and writing.
Writing skills quite useful.
Vocabulary.
And also, so it means all of them.
Yes.
All of them are very useful.
Mm.
Okay. Yes, actually, they are
Listening
very.
skills are quite useful.
Yes, Samira.
Listening skills. Yes.
No, we cannot hear you properly. You have problem with your mic. Can you say it again?
Listening skills are quite
Okay.
useful.
Listening skill is quite useful. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's good. All right. Oh, okay. Any more comments about this?
No.
Now it's
No.
clear.
Oh, it's clear. Okay. Now let's go to the text. Let's go to the text now. Okay. We've got the text here. It's about extensive reading. Okay. Simply read. Okay. I wanted to look at the first paragraph. How many lines are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost six lines. Read them and try to tell me what did you understand from these lines. Okay, I'll give you 2-3 minutes and then we will discuss that. Okay. All right. You can see it, right? You can read it from my screen, right? In case you have, in case you don't have your sheets, it's here available. Okay, you can look at it and read from it. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. So let me read it and then I will ask you about it. Okay. In the mid-90s, two language researchers conducted an interesting experiment with a group of students learning English at university. These students were retaking compulsory English courses they had previously failed. In language tests, these students were far behind the other university students, as most of these students disliked studying English. Few expected any improvement. Okay, so what's it about? And what can you understand from these 5 or 6 lines?
Some students dislike English.
Some students dislike English. Okay, so okay, what more can be said about okay, there are some students who didn't like English. What are the reasons? What the researchers have done? Tell me more about this. Yes. Yes, Amira, can you? Suzanne?
Can I read?
Okay, before reading, we need to discuss that. We need to discuss just to make sure that you have understood the text. But it's not a matter of just reading and understanding. That's it. It's not just to keep reading something that you didn't understand it. So at least tell me what you have understood from it. Then we can go to it. Yes. The first paragraph, what's it about? It's about two language researchers. Okay, what did they do? These two language researchers. What did they do? Sorry?
Contacted and interesting.
Yeah, what's that? What was conducted and it was interesting? Two language researchers conducted an interesting experiment with a group of students learning English at university. Okay, these students were retaking. What does it mean retaking? Those students were retaking. Yes. The students were retaking compulsory English courses they had previously failed. So it means those students that are taking the course, the English course for the second time because they have failed the first time. Retake, it means take it again. Okay, we're taking the English course they had previously failed. In language test, these students were far behind the other university students, as most of these students disliked studying English. If you expected any improvement. Okay, who can read?
Can I read?
Yes, Marwa. Yes, please.
Yes. Simply read. In the mid-90s, two language researchers conducted an interesting experiment with a group of students learning English at university. These students were retaking
Retaking, yeah.
compulsory English courses they had previously
failed. They had previously failed.
Previously failed.
Yeah.
Failed. In language tests, these students were far behind the other university students, as most of these students disliked studying English. You expected any improvement?
We expected an improvement. Okay, thank you. Marwa, who else can read? Yes. Who can read? Marah?
Can I?
Marah.
Yes, go ahead, Marah. Read, yes. Yes. Marah, can you read?
Okay. In the mid-90s, two language researchers conducted an interesting experiment with a group of students learning English at university. These students were retaking compulsory English course. They had provisionally failed and language tests. These students were far behind the other university students, as most of these students disliked studying English. Few expected any improvement.
Very good. If you expected any improvement. Okay, thank you, Marah. Who else can read?
Can I?
Yes.
Amira, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
In the mid-90s, two language researchers conducted an interesting experience with a group of students learning English at university. These students were retaking compulsory English courses. They had previously filed in language tests. These students were far behind the other university students, as most of the students dislike studying English. You expected any improvement?
You expected an improvement. Okay, any question about this paragraph, the first one?
No.
Was it clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the second paragraph. I want you to take a couple of minutes, read it, and just tell me what's it about, okay? A couple of minutes, okay?
Okay.
English course. Okay, are we ready? Okay, who can tell me what the second paragraph all about?
The researcher put the students in a special class and teaching them in a different way, and they get better and improve it.
Okay, yeah, the researcher put the students in a special class for second term of their English course. Yes, what else?
And they are enjoyed the class.
Okay, so we are talking about the students that we talked about in the first paragraph, because in the first paragraph we talked that we said that that there are a number of students who were retaking the subject because they have failed the first time. So the researchers, to find out what the problem is for those group of students who cannot pass the subject, they decided to take them and put them in a special class. Okay, the researcher put those students in a special class for the second term of the English course because they have failed the first one. So now that the researchers are searching what the problem is, let's try and take those students from this class and put them in another group or in another class. Okay, the class met for the same amount of time as the other English courses. So when it comes to the time, it was the same. So the class was given the same amount of time as the other English courses. But the difference when it comes to the teaching, it wasn't the same. The way of teaching was different, okay? So the first group, the ones who have no problem with English and they can pass the subject easily, those ones were kept with the same teaching method, okay? With the same teaching method without any change. As for those students who failed and they were not able to pass the subjects, the researchers have decided to put them in a special class with the same amount of time that is given to the first one, but the teaching will not be the same. Okay, it is different. So the class met for the same amount of for the same amount of time as the other English course, but the teaching was very different. At the end of the term, the students took another language test, and the results were surprising. So the results now are surprising because the first result were not the students couldn't pass, and the grades were very low. They didn't pass, they failed. But now when they had to take another subject, to take another course with the same amount of time, but with something totally different when it comes to the methods of teaching or the way that when it comes to the teaching was different, when they had to take the test at the end of the term, the results were surprising, okay? In just one term, the students in the special class improved so much that their results in the new tests were almost as good as those of the other students. Now the students, the ones who were put in a special class, okay, and by the end of this term, they had to take another, they had to take a test, right? When the researchers had to compare between the results of this special class with the results of the other groups of students who have no problem with English, the results were almost the same. So it means what? It means that the special class improved so much to the point that almost have no problem with English, just like the other class, okay? That's another class. Not only had the English improved greatly, but many of these students who used to dread English, they used to hate English, didn't like it, now enjoy the class. Is it clear? Was that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Suzanne?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, good. Suzanne, can you read?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
The researchers put the students in a special class for the second term of their English course. The class met for the same amount of time as the other English courses, but the teaching was very different. At the end of term, the student took another language test, and the result were surprising. In just one term, the students were almost as good as those of the other students. Not only had their English improved greatly, but many of these students who used to dread English now enjoyed the class.
Okay, thank you. Who else can read?
Can I read?
Yes, Marwa? Yes?
The researchers put these students in a special class for the second term of their English course. The class met for the same amount of time as the other English courses, but the teaching was very different. At the end of the term, the students took another language test and the results were surprising. In just one term, the students in the special class improved so much that their results in the new tests were almost as good as those of the other students. Not only had their English improved greatly, but many of these students who used to dread English now enjoyed the class.
Now enjoy the class. Okay, thank you. Yes, who else can read?
Marah.
Yes, please, go ahead.
The researcher put the students in a special class for the second term of their English course. The class met for the same amount of time as the other English courses, but the teaching was very different. At the end of the term, the students took another language test, and the results were surprising. In just one term, the students in the special class improved so much that their results in the new test were almost as good as those of the other students. Not only had their English improved greatly, but many of these students who used to dread English now enjoyed the class.
Now enjoy the class. Thank you. Khawla? Khawla, can you hear us? Khawla? She cannot. Okay. Who else can read?
Can I?
Yes. Who is that?
Amira.
Amira. Okay, before reading out, just the Zoom is telling me that I'm running out of minutes, running out of time. It means at any moment maybe we will lose contact, and if this would happen, just go to the group so that I will give you another link. Okay, so I'm running off time. It tells me that I'm running off time, so I will schedule another meeting. But for by now, go ahead and read. Okay. Yes.
The researchers put these students in a special class for the second term of their English course. The class met for the same amount of time as the other English courses, but the teaching was very different. At the end of the term, the students took another language test, and the results were surprising. In just one term, the students in the special class improved so much that their results in the new tests were almost as good as those.
So you cannot see it, right?
No,
There's something wrong. Okay, just try to solve this
I'll
problem.
try it from my.
Yeah, from your sheet, you mean? Okay, here we go. Okay, carry on. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yes, you can see it, right?
we're almost as yes
Okay.
as those of the other students. Not only had their English improved greatly, but many of these students who used to write English now enjoyed the class.
Enjoy the class. Okay, thank you. Okay, any question about this paragraph?
No.
No? Okay, shall we move to the next?
No.
Yes? Yes or no? Yes or no? Shall we move to the next paragraph?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, extensive reading.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, extensive reading. Okay, extensive reading. What was the secret method that produced such dramatic results in these previously reluctant learners? The class was an extensive reading course. Extensive reading is simply reading a lot of English, reading almost every day at a fairly easy level, being able to understand the text without needing a dictionary. The students on the above mentioned course spend almost all of their class time simply reading enjoyable books. Okay, here it's the paragraph started with a question. What was the secret method that produced such dramatic results? And this previously reluctant learners. This paragraph talks about what? Talks about the students, about the two previous paragraphs. The first one, let's say the introduction paragraph that would tell us about these two researchers who were trying to find the reason why some students cannot pass the English course, because they've got students at university level are studying English, they are taking English courses. Some of them would pass the subject, others would fail. So the researchers were trying to understand the reason behind the failure of some of their students. So what makes those students unable to pass the subject? So they had to take those students and put them in a special class with the same amount of time, to dedicate the same amount of time as the first group, the ones who had no problem with English, but they have decided to change the teaching, the way of teaching. It was different from the first group. The results were surprising, and the students were improving, and they become just like the other ones, the ones who had no problem with English. So they were improving and they loved English and have no problem whatsoever. So here, the third paragraph, they're asking about the secret behind this success when it comes to turning failure students who are unable to pass English to ones who can pass English with no problem. So what was the secret method that produced such dramatic results in these previously reluctant learners? The class was an extensive reading course. So the second method is that the class was an extensive reading course. It means that they had to teach them reading, and not only reading, this kind of extensive reading. So the second method that makes those students improving and just to become like the other group, the first one, that this class was given extensive reading, okay? So the class was an extensive reading course. And what is extensive reading? Now they will explain to us the meaning of extensive reading. What does it mean, extensive reading? Extensive reading is simply reading a lot of English. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as extensive reading meaning is extensive reading is simply reading a lot of English. Reading almost every day. Okay, this is what the meaning of extensive reading. At a fairly easy level, being able to understand the text without needing a dictionary. So extensive reading, it means to almost read every day, to read texts, and not the difficult ones, but the easy ones, being able to understand the text even without needing a dictionary. The students on the above mentioned course spend almost all of their time or class time simply reading enjoyable books. So that was the secret method. Was that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Marah, can you read?
Yes. What was the secret method that produced such dramatic result in this previously reluctant learners? The class was an extensive reading course. Extensive reading is simply reading a lot of English, reading almost every day at a fairly easy level, being able to understand the text without needing a dictionary. The students on the above mentioned course spent almost all of their class time simply reading enjoyable books.
Okay, thank you. Yes, who else can read?
Can I read?
Yes, Marwa, please go and read. Yeah, go ahead.
Extensive reading. What was the secret method that produced such dramatical results in these previously reluctant learners? The class was an extensive reading course. Extensive reading is simply reading a lot of English, reading almost every day at a fairly easy level, being able to understand the text without needing a dictionary. The students on the above mentioned course spent almost all of their class time simply reading enjoyable books.
Okay, thank you. Okay, who else can read? Yes, who can read?
Me,
Yes, who are you? Just tell us.
Suzanne.
Suzanne, okay. Go ahead, Suzanne.
What was the secret method that predict such dramatical result?
That produce. Oh yeah.
Produce such dramatical results in the previously
Reluctant.
uh,
Reluctant.
Okay. Learners, the class was reluctant. Learners, the class was an extensive reading course. Extensive reading reading is simply reading a lot of English, reading almost every day at a fairly easy level. Being able to understand the text without needing a dictionary. The students on the above mentioned course spend almost all of their class time simply reading enjoyable books.